Hi, this is I Allegedly. Welcome back. I'm Dan. I've got a good one for you today because your genetic data and all your personal information is completely at risk, more than you will ever know, because of 23andMe and their bankruptcy. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay? Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Today we have a sponsor, Private Internet Access, and I will talk about them in a bit. But let's get right into it, guys. 23andMe was a DNA collection company that billed themselves as, wouldn't it be fun to find out who you're connected to? And it's safe, send you a kit to your house, and you fill it out, give them a swab, no blood draw, and you send it in. And then they would keep this information private, and then they would see who you're connected to, show you your heritage, show you different things about your health and your data that would be supposedly private. Well, then we find out that the company's having nothing but problems. And at one point, Anne Wojcicki, where have you heard that name before? Well, she was married to Sergey Brin, who was one of the founders of Google. And it happens, people get married, have a couple kids, and you go out and you get divorced. Okay. And in 2015, they got divorced, and like everything else, she started a business after that, which was 23andMe. Bunch of great things about her that I'd read over the years, and that is people wouldn't talk to her because they thought she wasn't smart because she didn't start a business. Then she started a business, and then they paid attention to her. So very, very sharp lady, okay, to say the least. The thing about this, I mean, she dated A-Rod too, which I thought was funny, because when I read about this, and the stories below, she had no idea. Oh, you play baseball? Oh, really? What do you do? It's kind of funny. Be great to do that to A-Rod. Oh, really? Yankees? What are those? Anyways, so she starts this company, 23andMe, and it's immediately a success, guys. Raises a bunch of money, sells, over 15 million of these data collection kits. And the thing about this that's wild is you could sit there and people were connected. Wouldn't it be fun to go out and be connected and know if you have any distant relatives, or what your actual heritage is? Like if you're an Indian, and you're in the Senate, you could find out your basic makeup. It's exciting. Okay. Well, the problem with this was, when I ran medical conferences, and I spoke to a good friend of mine, Mike Adams, today, and he brought up some fabulous points about this, about the dangers of this, and that this has been basically a surveillance system. And the surveillance system is such that they took your data and sold it. Now think about this. Let's go back to the basics. I'm thinking about, what is your genetic makeup worth? What is your data worth when you are, basically your family has cancer in its history, heart disease like mine does in its history, things like that. Wouldn't that be worth something to somebody to know what the makeup is for that? Yeah, it's worth a bloody fortune, guys. So with that being said, you've got this company that went together and put together all this data, and then would go out and sell it. Okay, they tried to hook up with the pharmaceutical companies to basically use your data to determine what drugs to use. Now, think about this, guys. If there was another health crisis that came out and they wanted to do genetic testing, who's going to respond better than others? Think about this. They have this information. Okay, they could determine things that most of us probably don't want determined. Okay, that being said, but like Mike said, this is a surveillance system. And with that, let's get down to shopping. Imagine your shopping code. It's funny. I have one of those, I have 2 stores that I shop at, and I've got one of those discount programs that, oh, wow, Cheetos, if you buy 2 bags, you get 1 for free, but you got to punch in your phone number, and they keep that. Well, think about that. As they are watching you, as they're watching the sugary drinks that you buy, as they are watching the chips, hey, this guy buys a lot of processed meat. This is all stuff that they can determine is bad and unhealthy. Now, wouldn't you think they would want to know that? Well, who would be interested in that? Let's start with the simple things like life insurance companies. Don't you think your life insurance company would want to know that what Dan's eating? Come on, Dan, tell us the truth. Guys, I am the fittest person in the world. All I do is walk all day and film, and I eat once a day, and it's alfalfa sprouts and whey protein. You know what I mean? The lies that we tell these people can be debunked in minutes with your shopping history. Now, this company is going bankrupt. They could not sell any more systems. Anne, tried to get a buyer. Anne tried to buy the company herself and do it directly, but nope, wouldn't allow it. So she stepped down, and that's the end of that. But guys, when I ran medical conferences, and I told Mike this today, the spookiest people, weirdest people, kookaburra, strange ducks, odd, okay, were the people that wanted to collect genetic data. And you can sit there and go, really, that's really interesting, Dan. Why would you say that? Well, the thing about this, and that Mike was curious about, was, what do you mean? Just because some guy's a doctor does not mean that he's somebody that you would trust with, your children, you would trust with your personal information, your cell phone, your social security number, anything like that. You wouldn't want that with these people. Now, one company in particular really stuck in my head, and I was telling him about this, were these two guys that wanted to present to my investor audience, and I said no. I didn't even send it to the doctors or anybody to vet, because I got the icks from them, and I needed a shower after I had the meeting because I just felt they were so weird. These two guys were going to do this information for free. We're going to build the largest database for free. For free, for free, for free. You don't pay us. Basically, we're going to help you. We're going to tell you about yourself and give you these testing. Well, then what they would do is then they can sell it down. We can sell it to everybody. We can sell it to different countries, people doing testing, people doing local work, everything. Think about this. Well, maybe there's a cancer cluster where you live. Okay. My late girlfriend, who died of cancer complications, she lived in an area called Santa Ana, California, and she was convinced that her family's house, that was 1/4 of a mile from the freeway before they had, sound walls and things like that, that she was just sucking exhaust all day. Now, was it genetics? Was it that? Don't you think somebody would want to sell that information to say, wow, she got cancer? Her dad got cancer. Who else got cancer in that household? What about the neighbors? Okay. Well, let's do the test and let's determine this. Okay. That's the value in this. Okay. And then you go through the shopping, you go through everything else, and it just makes it weirder and weirder and weirder. There's a lot more to cover on this too. Let's talk about our sponsor, Private Internet Access, VPN. A VPN is a virtual private network that you can have on your cell phone, your computer, your laptop, your iPad, any device that you have, and it can protect you from the bad guys and the government seeing your keystrokes and knowing where you go. Now, with the latest, ransomware and cyber attack, there's something called Medusa that's out there. A VPN can protect you from that. You need to get this today, guys. 83% off their regular price. It covers every device that's in your household. Check it out today. But guys, I want to show you something. There's no hardware to install. All you do, my cell phone right here, press one button. Guys, when it turns green, you're protected. I can go on the web and I don't have to worry about anybody seeing what I'm doing. Totally anonymous, guys. So check it out today, but think about this. When you log into your brokerage account, your bank account, or your search history, you don't want anybody to know that. Plus, do you like sports? Baseball season's about to start. All those blackout games, you can change your location to a different state or around the world. Formula One, you want to watch that live? Check it out, guys. It's absolutely amazing. Use the link below, save 83% off the regular price, but get it today. It's pennies a day, guys. It's an absolute amazing company. They've been sponsoring for over 2.5 years. Check it out today, Private Internet Access. Now, there's a lot more to cover on this, but guys, here it is, towards the end of March. It's already going to be 87 degrees out here. This overcast situation in the morning like this burns off. It's just absolutely beautiful, but it's going to be 87 today. Isn't that wild? So I found a bunch of great stories to give you guys an example of the dangers of this and the dangers of you giving your familial DNA up with this DNA testing. It's too much, guys. And Rob Bonta, who is the state attorney general here in California, he said, listen, this was right before the bankruptcy was announced. Get rid of your data, guys. I don't even know if you guys can eliminate it now because they have filed bankruptcy and there may be a lockdown. You can't buy anything on the site. I know that. But think about this, guys. This has been something that forever has been determined that there's a lot of value in your DNA and your data and your genetics and your makeup. You know, you got a mid-50s guy who's out shopping and spends this way and drives this way. That stuff is worth an absolute fortune. Now, all these different companies, I'll read the stories below because they're great, on what your DNA is worth. Now, you guys can sit there and say, well, they have privacy agreements. They're bankrupt, guys. They're going down for the count. You're going to have some Chinese company buy this place, and they're going to have everything. Do you understand that? This is not going to be, you know, you hope to God somebody with ethics buy it. What are the odds of that? Slim and none, guys. Slim and none. Now, think about this. Frontline Genetics did a great site where they did an actual article on what is this worth. Think about this. 12% of the participants were happy to share their genetic information. Okay, that's wild. Okay, 12%. I'll do it for free. Here you go, guys. Think about that. That's when you take 1 billion people, it just adds up. We take 1 million, you get 12%. It's 120,000 people that would do this. Think of the genetic makeup, and you put those pins on a map. That's where this is worth so much money. Uh-oh. Okay, now you're kind of making sense. 38% said they would, you know, were not willing to give up their data at all. Okay, so of the 1,380,000, okay, that makes sense. And then you get 50% of the people that would sell their data for a small fee. Now, what were the ranges that they asked for? Anywhere from $1 to $100. Now, guys, that's nuts, guys. It's not enough money. It's not enough money to sell your soul and to have your data being sold. And again, like Mike said, he's so brilliant, such a good friend, but it's a surveillance system, Dan. And that these people submitted to a surveillance system that's now bankrupt. So if someone was watching your house and could know, you know, the ins and outs of when you would come and go, this is why when the big alarm companies went bankrupt and had data breaches, you know, we talk, get the VPN, by the way. When you talk to these companies and they have all these data breaches and stuff, and they get access to the tapes and things like that that you have on your house, this is what they're talking about. Imagine this is when Dan leaves. This is when Dan's there. This is, you know, when Rosie's left alone. You know what I mean? You would want that information if you were going to rob a house. You cannot protect yourself enough with this stuff, guys. You just cannot. Okay? There's a ton of information on this below, but I'm telling you guys, Rob Bonta, our Attorney General, said that you should log into the account and you should delete your data. You can delete it, and you have the right to delete it. I've had family members write me, and I said, you guys did that? Wow. Get rid of it right now if you can do it. Log into the website. I'll make sure it's the top story if you want to click down in the video description. But go in and make sure your data is protected. Cancel it. Assume that they're going to sell it to the wrong person. Again, it's one thing when you have somebody that's connected with Google and, hey, we're going to do something ethical. Whether you think that's not, that they're ethical or not, that's not the point. The point is that they had an agreement with you, but the agreement's null and void because they're done. Down for the count, guys. Well, doesn't that carry on to the new company and through the bankruptcy court? No, it does not. It does not. Your data, your genetic makeup, your illnesses, all this stuff is worth a bloody fortune. An absolute. It's not worth $100, guys. It's worth a hell of a lot more than that. And where you live and what you do is worth everything. So protect yourself, cancel this stuff right now, delete it if you can. And if you're on any of those other sites, do the same thing right now. And if you've ever done, again, I've told this story 50 times probably to people. These guys were the spookiest guys I met in that whole medical thing I did, for the fact that they just rubbed me the wrong way. And God, I wouldn't want them to have that information on me. No, Dan, do it for free. Just check it out. Watch how much information we can get from the swab. And if you want to do oh my God, Dan, if you want to do a blood draw, woo, no way in that case, you know? So again, protect yourself. They're going to steal your stuff. Look at this guy, it's all overcast. The sun's starting to come out behind me, but you get the gist of it, guys. It's going to be 87 degrees today. So let me know, guys, what you think about all this stuff. You know, the genetic testing, there's just so much below. You know, great story about the rest of this year's housing market, and everybody that's experienced in this marketplace, everybody that does, you know, sells a lot of houses, and including realtor.com and people associated with them and Redfin and things like that, say that you need to get ready and stick to the 6% mortgages. If you're fine with that, stick with it, guys, but you have to understand record numbers of houses that are canceled, that are go under contract. We're going to buy the house, and the husband and wife sit there, single people too, wake up in the middle of the night and say, what the hell did I do? Why am I putting myself through this? So again, you know, I get a kick out of the homeowner association debacle, and you know, 5% of all households have a homeowner association, and the majority of them are having problems with the insurance and everything that we've talked about ad nauseum, guys. We've talked about this stuff. There is one association that I got a kick out of, where if they brought the new guy in, hey, in Steel Creek, Charlotte, North Carolina, and I got to give this guy credit because, hey, I want to be on the board. I want to participate. Andrew Page was his name, and they had a track just like the old track that I had an association in, Bennington Place 1 and Bennington Place 2. Well, here's the thing, guys. Sometimes they build a track and they run out of money, so they build the second track. But this association applies to this. I literally lived in a complex where there was a line in the street. This is one association, this is the other association. Well, what Mr. Page found out was that they were paying the water bill for the other association. To the tune of 10 grand. And they went and clawed back. So everybody knows the money nerd, okay? Guys that make me look fiscally irresponsible, which is the last thing that I am. You get people that love to dig up stuff. That's what you need. If you go on one of these boards, or if you are in a nonprofit, or you're in anything. I have a friend, Amber, who, oh my God, Amber just lives for money. And I told her, when the next business gets started up, she's being the CFO of the company because she just loves it. Well, the rest of us just want to go sell and do our thing. But Mr. Page found that they paid $10,000 to the wrong association to their water bill. How do you get that back? Oh, okay, we'll work something out. No, write us a check, method actor. Do it now, okay? So, anyways, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. And I love this stuff, guys, but familial DNA, all that stuff, it's no big deal, Dan. This stuff is out there. They know all this stuff about us. No, they don't, guys. I am telling you this right now, and I gave the perfect example to Mike today, and that was the toll roads account here in Southern California had a class action lawsuit that I became the head of the class on. And one thing that they did that was illegal here in California was they sold our data and our driving habits and our personal information, because they could sit there and say, I just got a 45-year-old guy driving here, driving there, shopping here, getting off at this exit, and that's what he does. Well, they even set it up to where you could pay at one point using your toll road transponder to buy McDonald's. Well, that fat ass Dan, you know what he does? He goes there 3 times a week, morning, afternoon, and evening when he's in there. You see what I'm saying, guys? Fight the good fight, okay? Protect yourself, cancel it, contact these companies today and tell them you want your data off there. look at the Rob Bonta thing, because his explanation on how to do it is scary. Okay, you want to get a hold of me, hello@iallegedly.com. And thank you, Mike. You're a brilliant guy and a good friend. Okay, I'll see you guys very soon.